What's up, everybody? My name is Amy, and this is the Ruby Pearl Glamper True Crime Podcast.
Put your way that you're sitting on top of the world.
Hello. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Ruby Pearl Glamper True Crime Podcast. My name is Amy. Welcome to my show. Hope everyone is having a wonderful Saturday afternoon. It is butt-ass cold in Arkansas. We had some rain come in. I'm not sure, did we get the tail end of Nicole or what, but anyway, some rain moved in and a cold front moved in, and we're supposedly expecting some like wintry mix, but the ground is not going to be cold enough for it to stick or anything. So I think it's mostly going to be up in the northern part of Arkansas, and I'm in the southwest part of Arkansas, so hopefully I won't get any of it. So it's cold outside and can't really enjoy sitting outside, which on Saturdays I usually spend my day watching Law and Order SVU reruns on ION. So that's what I am, of course, doing today. Cutting some deco mesh. Hey, Tammy, how are ya? Cutting some deco mesh for a new wreath that I'm working on, and just staying warm. So, well, this is kind of a part two to a live that I did the other day called "Who Are the Real Voices for Quinton Simon." This is going to be kind of a part two, little like an extension of that. But I want to talk a little bit about, you're waiting for this case to break, aren't we all? Aren't we all? I'm ready for something to, I thought that the Summer Wells case was, emotional and draining and overwhelming, but I think this one even definitely tops Summer. And I hope to God we're not still sitting here a year and a half from now, still looking for Quinton Simon and still waiting for an arrest. But, the YouTube streets out here are pretty mean. We all know that. You have YouTube creators out here that think they're better than everybody else and think that they are better qualified and it's just one big competition, and everybody's obsessed with money. Yeah, I know what you mean. Hell, I'm still sitting here 25 some odd years later, still wondering who killed John Benet Ramsey. You know, that's how long I've been in true crime. But you have these YouTube creators out here that think they are above people. They think they're better qualified. They have more knowledge. Um, you know, whatever. Everybody's obsessed with money and who's making money and who's making more money and all this kind of crazy stuff. And it's ridiculous. So I felt the need to kind of talk about a little bit about myself. Yeah, exactly. I kind of felt the need to talk a little bit about myself, about who I am as a YouTube creator. I came into true crime in the late 80s when some friends of mine were murdered, and there was a lot of injustice, a lot of police corruption, government corruption. It goes all the way to the White House. Yes, money is not important. Finding these babies is what's important. And for those of you who are interested in the case that brought me into true crime, there's a playlist here on my channel. It's titled Kevin Ives and Don Henry. Please watch that documentary. It's a wonderful documentary by Pat Matricia. It's called Obstruction of Justice. There's also a segment of Unsolved Mysteries where the case was covered on Unsolved Mysteries. There's also the episode of D.B. Cooper on there as well. But if you'll look in that playlist and watch that documentary, you will come to a better understanding of, what brought me into true crime, and who I am today, because that case, having your friend, I was 17 years old, having my friends being murdered and it being tied to drugs. One of the people was an ex-boyfriend of mine, whose mother I'm still very close to this day, and other friends of mine. And those cases and what happened back then is a big chunk of who I am today. It has a lot of influence of who in who I am as a person to this very day. It's why I am leery of cops. It's why I can smell a corrupt cop a mile away. It's why I don't trust my government. It's just a big part of who I am as a person, and why I am the way I am, and why I do this, why I am a YouTube creator, speaking out about injustice and speaking out about cases and cold cases and missing kids and missing people, and just things like that. It's It's why you don't see me flash my Cash App. It's why you don't see my channel monetized. And there's a few reasons for that, actually. Number one of the reasons why my channel isn't monetized, and it wouldn't matter if I had 1 million followers, I still wouldn't monetize it, because YouTube is big tech, and they make enough money. I'm just a poor single woman on disability, and I what money they get from me is all the money they're going to get. I pay for premium. If there's anything made off my channel, off my few views and my few followers, then so be it. The reason why I don't flash my Cash App is because, I have trust issues with people. I have asked for help, not on YouTube, but I have asked for help, from people who are supposed to be my friends, people who are supposed to be my family. And most of those times, and matter of fact, all of those times, really, it wasn't about money. I wasn't asking anyone for money. I was asking for help. And, those people shit on me. You have these people that tells you, oh, call me anytime you need anything, or like, say you don't have a car, or call me anytime if you need a ride to the store or whatever, blah, 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 blah. If you need some help with this or that, and you call these people and they don't answer the phone, or they don't call you back, or, and this has happened to me one too many times to count, they do help you and they bitch about it. They bitch about it to your face. So why would I flash my Cash App to a bunch of people who are strangers to me and think that they would help me? And think that they would, want to give me $5 or $10 or $20. That's just kind of how I am. I have reached out to people beyond YouTube. And this kind of goes into, this is a dog eat dog world. How this is one big competition. If any of you notice, there are creators, a lot of creators out here are in cliques. They're in groups. They work together. And there have been people that I have tried to reach out to beyond YouTube and, get to know them, would like to work with them, or, just, become friends, get to know people. And, I've been rejected. I have supported people's channels, and didn't get the same support back, So, me as a YouTube creator, I'm sort of a lone wolf. And I work by myself, and I have a free thinking mind. No one influences me what to think or how to feel about aspects of a case. I take each case and I look at it, and I look at the facts that I know, and I make the determination of, who I think is guilty or who is not guilty, or who is, um, I make my own determination of what evidence there is. And I know, believe me, I've got 3 years of criminal justice law. I passed the police exam. I've been doing this a long time. I was true crime when true crime wasn't cool, okay? I know all this innocent until proven guilty and blah, 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 and all this. I'm not on a jury. I'm not on this person's jury. I'm not the judge. I'm not the prosecutor. And I'm not the defense attorney either. I'm just simply a commentator reporting cases and what my thoughts and opinions are, questions that I have, things of that nature. So no one influences me how to think. And certainly no one tells me what to do. That's for damn sure. So I don't watch so-and-so's channel or so-and-so's channel because so-and-so doesn't like such and such creator, I don't like them either. Oh, well, because so-and-so creator believes that this person is guilty, or this person's not guilty, or whatever, then because I follow them, I go along with them. No, not at all. I am a free thinker. I've probably been in-depth studying hours upon hours upon hours upon days, years, true crime cases, longer than some of y'all have probably been alive. And since some of y'all been in diapers. So, this ain't my first rodeo. So just because I follow a certain person or support a certain channel or whatever, I don't think the way they do, or I don't, go along with them. Just, I'm not a minion. You've got creators out here that have got literal minions who will believe whatever they say, who will do whatever they say. They will harass whoever they tell them to harass. They will, do absolutely anything. That's not me. I make my own decisions. And I have, of course, always supported victims. Let's get that clear. I've always supported victims. However, I have not always been on the most favorable side of the fence. because I make my own decisions, because I have my own thoughts and my own opinions. And sometimes they don't always go along with everyone else's. But at the end of the day, what I want to see is justice. And I have, trouble with determining. Justice is a hard word for me because I've, been following cases for so long and different things, and I've seen injustice, I've seen justice, I've seen, and sometimes it's just, it can be a confusing ordeal. But I just wanted to kind of go over that and just tell you all a little bit about, who I am as a creator, what experience I have, and things like that. And, and just so people can kind of know me a little better and understand me a little better. I am the type of person that I can sit down and talk like an adult to someone else, even if I don't agree with what they're saying or doing or whatever. I'm the type of person that, I'm a reasonable person, but I am a very strong-minded person, and I am a very opinionated person. And, sometimes that don't mesh too well with certain people. But anyway, like I said, I just wanted to kind of go over that and whatnot. And some of these creators out here on YouTube they're nothing but drama, hating, god awful people. And they think it's funny to make fun of people. They think it's funny to make fun of someone's mental illness. They think it's funny to dox people and send their minions after them. And news for anybody that's even thinking about trying to dox me. I'm an open book. I am an open book. Anything that anybody wants to know about me, they can simply come and ask me. I don't have any secrets to hide. I have, custody of my kids. I have, which they're grown, but, I don't have secrets. There may be things that I don't disclose, but there are things that, aren't anyone's business. So, but if you come and ask me, I'll tell you. Because I am also the type of person whose mama raised them to be honest. Because once you lie about something, you got to tell another lie and another lie and another lie till you finally forget what you lied about in the first place. So, my mama always just taught me it's best to be honest with people. And so that's what I do. That's what I do. Now, on to talking about the subject at hand, which is the case of Quinton Simon. and being a voice for Quinton Simon. I feel, in my opinion, of course, that I am a voice for Quinton Simon, because I'm out here doing what I can do to spread awareness, to keep his name in the news, to talk about him, to just be a voice for him. And just because I'm not able to go to Georgia or go to Tennessee or go here or there doesn't mean that I'm not an important voice for these victims just as much as anyone else is. Just because I don't have as many followers or people in my chat as other people do doesn't mean that my voice doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that my channel doesn't matter or that my content isn't good enough. As I said, you've got people out here that think they are above everybody else just because they have a bigger channel, or just because they make a lot of money, or just because they're in with the family, or they're can go here and can go there and travel. That's not true. That's not true. But I want to talk about some statements that have been made recently by Billie Jo, Quinton's grandmother. These statements have been disturbing to watch and to hear. I don't subscribe to any of these clip channels, and I call them clip channels because what they do is they clip people's channels and then put like a minute or 2 or 15-minute piece of someone's channel up. And even though I don't follow them, they do come through my news feed because of having the same interest and hashtags and things like that. Well, there have been a couple of clip videos that have come through my feed that I've seen in the last couple of days of Billie Jo. And I wanted to talk about them. First of all, let me just say that I'm a mother and I'm a grandmother. And the part of me that is a mother and a grandmother can't judge Billie Jo on whether or not she is in pain or whether or not she is hurting over the loss of Quinton. I've thought about it, and maybe I don't, and to be honest with you, I don't think that I've been too terribly judgmental about her in that aspect. But it's clear. I can see in these videos that she is distraught and she is hurt and she is in pain. And so, it's not, I'm not judging her for that. And I'm not judging her for whether or not of how she feels. Her thoughts are clearly all over the place. When you see her, sometimes she's mean, sometimes she's crying, sometimes she's just wailing. Her thoughts are all over the map. It's 1 minute Leilani's innocent, and 1 minute she's guilty, and so-and-so's guilty, and such is guilty. And it's, I can understand that. As a mother and as a grandmother, I can understand that level of distraught. However, what my problem is, and what most every other YouTube creator's problem is with Billie Joe, is why on earth she left those kids with Leilani and Danny to go to work. Make them get off their ass and get a fucking job and go to work. And if they don't, throw their ass out in the street. I get it's your kids, but Leilani is 22 years old with 3 kids by 3 different daddies. It's time to grow the fuck up. It's time to grow the fuck up. Get off your ass and get a job and take care of your kids. And if you can't, then let somebody else take care of them. If you don't have the skills to get a job, honey, it don't take too many skills to learn how to run the fry machine at McDonald's. I mean, you did go through the 5th grade, didn't you? You know how to count money, don't you? You can't count change back. Hell, most registers today tell you how much change to give back. Not that damn hard. And I seriously don't think Danny's making too much money as a rapper. But that is my problem, is why on earth did you leave those kids with them unsupervised? Because obviously your son Paul wasn't supervising shit. Or we wouldn't be sitting here now, would we? Still hadn't heard a word about him, where he was during all this. Other than in the house, that's all we've heard. Why didn't you just leave them with Miss Diana? Why didn't you just say, look, I want you to take care of the kids while I'm gone. Just let them stay here. I'll pay you. I'll buy you food, groceries for them, whatever. Because you knew That's why you got custody of the kids in the first place. That these two were irresponsible. They were drug addicts. They were potheads, which I'm not saying anything about, except that I have never smoked weed around my kids until they were grown and married. I mean, I smoke weed now, but I get it medically. And my kids know that. And they don't care. They'd much rather see their mama sit and smoke weed than they would, ODing on pills, prescription pills. So, that's what my issue and everybody else's issue really is with Billie Joe. And, how she has gone from my daughter's nothing but a liar to she did it, he's in the landfill, to now I don't know what the woman believes, to be honest with you. I don't know what she believes. It's like 1 minute she's saying she's guilty. She's asking God, why did you give me two murdering children? Two children who have murdered people? To, like I said, I get it. She's distraught. And obviously she's drinking or doing drugs too as well, and that's not a good look either. And that doesn't help the situation. It doesn't help the situation. I also saw a video of her just enraged. She was enraged. She was in grief, crying, screaming, yelling. Believe me, I get it. I get it. But there were a couple of things that she said that made me just one of the things that she said was a big fuck you to everyone out here that is using any kind of pictures of Quinton's siblings. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. First of all, I have not used any photos of Quinton's siblings and have no intentions of doing so. And I'm even going to be respectful enough to try not to mention their names. I will address them as the older child and the baby, unless it just slips out. But these children are innocent. They've done nothing wrong, and we all know who they are. We know their names. There's no need to repeat them. But it was fuck you to those people that are using photographs. And how dare you take that away from me? How dare you take away the only thing, home, those kids have ever known. Well, first of all, Billie Joe, have you read the court documents of why the oldest child and the baby were taken away from y'all? Have you read those court documents as to why they were removed from your home? Because I have. And nowhere in those papers does it say that any YouTube creator took those children away from you. No YouTube creator out here took those kids out of your home. The Department of Child and Family Services, DCFS, removed those children from your home. Not YouTube creators, not the owner of YouTube. DCFS removed those children. And why did DCFS remove those children? It gives a clear statement, gives clear wording in those papers as to why Quinton's two siblings were removed from your home. It also states that they were unable to find suitable family members to take the children, and therefore they would be placed in foster care. Now, to my knowledge, there's not one single YouTube creator out here that has foster care custody of those two children. The owner of YouTube don't have them. None of us YouTube creators have those children. I don't know where those children are. Nor do I know of any YouTube creator out here that does know where them children are. So none of us took those children away from you. Those children were removed because of what happened to Quinton and because you failed to protect them. That's why. Then she wants to wail about being mad. I'm so mad. I'm so angry. I get it. I understand you're mad at the world. Believe me, I stay mad at the world. But you're mad at the wrong people. You're mad at the wrong people. You're mad at YouTube creators. You're mad at the babysitter. You're mad at Danny. Why don't you be mad at your own fucking daughter, who police have named the prime suspect? Not a prime suspect, but the prime suspect, meaning she is the only prime suspect. And I would like to encourage you and your mouthpiece to Google the word prime suspect definition. Go Google it. Prime suspect definition. And read what it says and what it means to be a prime suspect. What it means to be the prime suspect. If Danny Youngkin was so much as a person of interest or a suspect, possible suspect, or a prime suspect, or the prime suspect, your old pal Chief Hadley would have said so, don't you think? But no. He said Leilani is the prime suspect. So tell your mouthpiece to get that straight. And maybe you need to just let that sink in. Also, we have Billie Joe's having to sell off things that she's acquired over the years, and she's having to sell campers and cars and whatnot because she allegedly cannot go to work because she doesn't want to take the drama of this to her job, and she can't go anywhere without people following her. Well, first of all, I can assure you that Molly, Bullhorn Betty, Justice for All, Dolly Vision, Chronicles of Olivia, Mallory, House of Williams, they've all gone home. Don't a single one of them live in Georgia. They've all gone home. So they're not following you. If anyone is following you around or following you to your job, it's probably somebody there local. So what I would suggest to you is that you go talk to your buddy Chief Hadley and get something done about it. Because I would think that constitutes stalking. People protesting in front of your house on a public easement is not stalking. But following you around, and unless it's the police or the feds, but if some Tom, Dick, and Harry there in Chatham County is following you to your job and following you here and harassing you at your job and things like that, then maybe you need to talk to Chief Hadley about that and get something done about it so you can go back to work. But don't blame the public Don't blame YouTube creators that your mouthpiece don't like that you can't go to work and that you're having to sell everything you own. How about you blame your daughter? Let's acknowledge here who the prime suspect of Quinton's disappearance and death is. Her name is Leilani Simon. Her name is not Molly Golightly. It's not Bullhorn Betty. It's not Olivia. It's not Jimmy Jams or Dolly Vision. It's not the Ruby Pearl Glamper. It's Leilani Simon. She's the reason why you're having to sell every damn thing you own. So stop blaming everyone else and look right in front of you. Look in the mirror. I mean, why all of a sudden do you, in one breath, you want to act like Danny did this all, and then in another breath, you want to act like your daughter and Danny did this, and then in another breath, you act like by some godly intervention miracle that he's going to come home safe and unharmed. I don't mean to be brutal and I don't mean to be ugly, but like I said, my mama raised me to be honest. And that's just how I am. I am upfront and blunt. As my federal marshal friend once told me, he said, you're hardcore. He's even told other people, she's hardcore, man. One of the people that I despise most in this world will tell you the same thing. And that's because I have fought against that man for years and fought against his corrupt self. Let's just leave it at that. I stood up to my city council and begged them not to hire him. I called him a murderer to his face. So, that's me. And that's all I got to say about that. Mama always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. But whatever you get, you got to do the best you can do with it. And you got to do what's right. Well, that's about all I have to say for now. I this case just infuriates me that they can't seem to find one single thing to arrest Leilani or Billie Joe or over, but they can sure dig up some fucking city ordinance to shut down Quinton's voice, to shut down people who are, these people do care. They do care. I care. I had to bury my four-legged son last week during this. 16 years I had smoke. He was my son. And I am lost without him. I've been walking around here like a chicken with my head cut off. Hurting and crying, and while your daughter threw her son in a nasty trailer park dumpster. Anyway, everyone, I hope you all have a wonderful day. I'm sorry this turned into a rant, more or less, but I just needed to A, get some things off my chest, and B, just be, upfront and blunt about this whole situation, because, people want to dance around it. They want to dance around it. They want to deny it. They want to push it off here and push it off there. And, but everyone, I hope you all have a wonderful day. I'm going to spend the rest of my day, like I said, doing what I do every Saturday, which is watch Law and Order SVU reruns all day and finish the wreath that I'm working on, the Deco Mesh wreath. But as always, here at the Ruby Pearl Glamper True Crime Podcast, please, everyone, you be the change that you wish to see in this world. As Michael Jackson said, it starts with the man in the mirror. Have a good afternoon, everyone. Peace out.
Hey y'all, this is Ella from the Ruby Pearl Glamper True Crime Podcast. If you love all things true crime, then please hit the subscribe button down below and don't forget to hit that notification bell. And please thumbs up because you're all invited back next week to this locality to have a heaping helping of our hospitality. True crime, that is. Set a spell. Take your shoes off. Y'all come back now. You hear?